greatest self-help guru of all time. No one holds a candle to Yahusha. No one. Throughout my whole life, I've read motivational books, biographies of high achievers, high performers. I've read so many books over my life about how to be inspired, how to be motivated, how to inspire and motivate others. Self-help books. The Magic of Thinking Big. Unlimited Power. Think and Grow Rich. How to Win Friends and Influence People. On and on and on. The Achilles heel of all of these. And you can find good in a lot of these books. These books are well-meaning. But the Achilles heel, the fatal flaw, is there in the concept and the title of self. Self. Because to truly find what you're looking for, the reason we strive, the reason we drive, the reason we seek power and dominion, the reason we claw, scratch, cannibalize, the reason we sweat, blood, tears, is not because of some material goal. And it's not for that end unto itself. We think chasing the accoutrements of the luxury lifestyle or a life of comfort or a life of success and prosperity, we think that's going to bring us joy. Having bounty, having money, having houses, having cars, having the great job, being able to influence people, whatever it is you think you're after, it's a selfish drive to please the lizard brain and to gobble up, to glom, to devour, to consume everything that you can, because you think that achieving these things, you will find fulfillment, satisfaction. You think you'll find, if you're even thinking about gratefulness and thankfulness. But none of these things, none of them, none of the things you truly seek, if you even know what you truly seek, are to be found in the ways of the flesh. Because what you really seek, if you really dig down deep, why are you chasing the money? Why are you chasing the cars? Why are you chasing the big house? Why are you chasing the big chick? Why are you chasing the big job? Why are you chasing to be on the big stage? Why are you chasing the title? Why are you chasing the championship? All of these things. Why? If you really dig it deep down, it's because you want peace. You want love. You want healing. You want joy. And you want life. Real life. True life. Dynamic, robust, meaningful, purposeful life. You want purpose and meaning. But the mirage and the hallucination you operate in fool you. They cast a mirage in a desert. And the misleaders and deceivers of this world have you believe that it's the mirage within the hallucination that you should be chasing. That oasis that looks beautiful and blue and surrounded by palm trees with refreshing water, that a starving, dying, thirsting man that is clawing and scratching his way through the desert would find glorious and majestic and beautiful, such that if you could just reach the beautiful blue oasis in the middle of the desert and drink from its cool, refreshing waters, that your thirst would be slaked and you would find peace, happiness, and joy. But when you finally get there, if you ever even get there, whatever mountain you're looking to climb, if you ever even get there, as soon as you start drinking, at first, the first sip tastes amazing, and then you realize You've been fooled, you've been deceived, you've been misled, because what you're really experiencing as you drink deeper and deeper of that mirage is the grinding and scratching of the sand that you're choking on, because you're scooping up handfuls of dirt that you thought was beautiful, clean, refreshing, glorious water. And only when you understand, as Yahusha says to the Samaritan woman, when he asks for a drink, she talks about the water. He says, talks about the living water. And if you drink of his living water, that you will never thirst again in receiving the word, receiving his salvation. Imagine, Yahuwah Yahusha, the greatest of all motivators, the greatest inspiration, the greatest driver to love and healing and joy. Everything you hope to find in prosperity is found in Yahuwah Yahusha, the king of all the self-help gurus. They can't even hold a little tiny candle to him. Every self-help guru in the world is but a grain of sand compared to the entire beach of sand, compared to all the beaches in the world, of which Yahuwah Yahusha is greater than in the magnitude and yet the simplicity of his message that brings you everything you ever thought you were searching for and goes layers deep into what you were really truly looking for and helps you find it where none of these books can, where none of the, ultimately, where none of these books can, where none of these gurus can, none of the magi, the yogi, the mentors, the teachers, the holy men, the wise ones, none of them. Yahuwah Yahusha gave us the simple blueprint, the simple instruction. Love Yahuwah with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. Imagine this. Yahuwah wants you to be your best self for him. Imagine this. You love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, such that you follow his commandments, such that it makes your life true and strong and full of credibility and integrity and honor. You receive Yahusha, who washes over you with the breath, the Ruach, the set-apart spirit, the breath of Yahuwah, the Most High, who brings life into existence. Yahusha, the Son of the Most High who saves, washes over you with salvation and surrendering to him. You understand the greatest self-help message of all. That it goes beyond self, that you must love something bigger than yourself in order to find the things that you're really looking for. Not the mirage, not what you were fooled into believing would bring you happiness, but what you were seeking without even knowing it. As I said, healing, love, joy, peace, and everlasting life. And so Yahuwah wants you to be your best self and lays out the blueprint, giving you the larger than life, larger than this world, larger than the universe. Elohim that you surrender to. Loving him, not yourself, loving him first. Loving him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then loving your fellow man as you love yourself. And then loving yourself so you can love your fellow man. But loving Yahuwah, it starts there. Loving something bigger than yourself, and the biggest of all things, the grandest of all things, the most majestic of all things, the most glorious of all things, the most powerful of all things is Yahuwah, the supreme Elohim, the Most High. He who breathes life into existence. And can you imagine? in that simple instruction that you receive when you receive his living water, such that you never thirst ever again. You're no longer scratching, clawing, cannibalizing, seeking power and dominion over your fellow man, looking to manipulate and control and contrive circumstances, variables, environments, and people to get what it is you think you want, which you have been fooled into believing is that mirage, that oasis in the desert, when it was really the true, honest things that make up a life lived in Yahuwah, Yahusha, peace, joy, healing, love, and everlasting life that he gives you the minute you confess that he has come in the flesh, and you repent and ask for his salvation, and he floods you with the tsunami of redemption and the breath of Yahuwah and the receipt of the word, and you understand the simple commandment to love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. The greatest self-help blueprint that has ever been created. Yohanan, John the Immerser, I mentioned this yesterday, how he says, as one crying out in the wilderness, as was prophesied, I believe by Isaiah, as one crying out in the wilderness, Yohanan, saying, make the path straight, for he is coming. Make the path straight. And so, you need to straighten all the crooked roads in your life. You need to make your path straight. You need to eliminate all the poison, all the toxin, all the venom from your life. And when you come to Yahuwah, Yahusha, and understand, receive the salvation, receive the redemption, receive the word, drink of the living water, and then surrender to him and asking him to lead you, to direct you, to guide you, to show you how to live your life in a manner that pleases him most, not you, but him. And in so doing, you are pleased most. In pleasing him most, you are pleased most. And in pleasing yourself most with his commandments, you're able to please your people most, because you'll be able to take care of your people, be able to love your people, because you're loving yourself, because you're at the very, very beginning of your journey, at the most supreme of your journey, at the core of your journey. You are loving Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And in receiving that word and drinking of that living water, in being redeemed, you are reconstructed, revised, renewed. What you were looking to happen when you read all these self-help books, you figured you would walk away a new man, a new person. But in Yahuwah, Yahusha, you are truly reconstructed, revised, refreshed, reconstituted, reset, and reborn, recreated once again in his image, such that you are purified, sanctified, justified, your heart righteous and true now, and you are compelled by the breath that now lives within the temple. You are the temple, the breath of Yahuwah lives within you, which is why we take care of this temple, which is why we strengthen this temple, because this is the hardware that he gave us, and in paying reverence to Yahuwah, we want to keep the temple strong that houses him, because he lives here. This is his temple. But in receiving that word and being reborn and being reconstructed and being renewed, and your heart being righteous and true and justified and sanctified, in being purified, because he immerses us with the set-apart spirit, the breath of Yahuwah, and fire, such that we are purified. And in being redeemed and in being reborn and receiving the word, we don't want to sully our nature ever again. We reject, in a natural way, we repel poison, toxins, venom, spiritual darkness, spiritual poison, psychological toxins, the toxins that pollute the body, all of these things now, you not only have the power to reject, but you're compelled to reject them. What you were hoping to get from all the self-help gurus, from all the yogis, the mentors, the magi, the wise ones, the holy men, the persuaders, the influencers, the demons of this world that tricked you and fooled you into believing that they were the prophets when they were nothing more than the false prophets, the lying Pharisees, the hypocritical scribes. Because you're operating in the flesh, you're operating in this illusion, and this illusion is lorded over by Hashatan, the Lord of the flies, the Lord of filth, Satan. But in receiving his light, receiving his word, being reborn, having that redemption, understanding the most powerful commandment of all, the most incredible, glorious, majestic, magnanimous self-help blueprint ever created. Love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, strength. Love your fellow man as you love yourself. That's written on your heart now. So you're compelled. You follow it not begrudgingly, you follow it lovingly because you're compelled to, and you reject quite naturally all the poisons, toxins you thought in reading these self-help books, in all these motivational books, in all these inspirational books. You thought you'd walk away a new man, but in Yahusha, you're a new man. You thought you would find techniques and strategies to reject all the negativity in your life, all the poison in your life, all the toxins in your life. You read books on how to eat the right diet. You read books on how to train the body. You read books on how to train the mind. You read books on how to persuade and influence other people. You read books to motivate yourself. And none of it, as I said, can hold a candle or delivers in any way, shape, or form the way the word delivers for you. Because when you're filled with the set-apart spirit, with the breath of Yahuwah, it all becomes natural. You are now purified, sanctified, justified, recreated, and refreshed and revised, and you don't ever want to sully that. You repel drugs, you repel alcohol, you repel junk food, you repel poisonous knowledge, you repel spiritual darkness. In fact, the Ruach, the breath that lives within you, is like a sword that you wield that absolutely dissolves and obliterates all the negative frequencies, all the darkness, all the demons, all the haters, detractors, psychic vampires, negative influencers that get in your way. They are absolutely disappeared, dissolved, destroyed, and obliterated. They can't even get near you. The breath of Yahuwah is like a force field. It's a light that blossoms within you and bursts forth like a trillion infinite rays of cleansing sunshine. All the wayward thoughts, all the negative energy, all the evil frequencies collapse in on themselves and disintegrate. Can't get near you. And so you naturally repel all that would render you asunder. And you are compelled to stay on the righteous and true path and only seek out the knowledge, the foods, the nourishment, the understanding, the parables, the phrases, the teachings of Yahuwah, Yahusha, that help you love him in a manner that pleases him most, and helps you love your fellow man as you love yourself, so that you can lift your fellow man higher, and that nourishes your tree, as I spoke about yesterday, such that your tree bears good fruit, fruit that nourishes your people, fruit that sustains your people and allows you to serve as a sturdy buttress for them to lean upon when times are tough, for them to take advice and guidance and direction from when they need it, when they seek it. They know you're there because they see your tree strong and sturdy and true. They see the fruit that comes from your tree ripe and glowing and beautiful and sweet and nourishing and nutritious. You want to change your life? You want to get better? You want to find a way to stay on track and never get off track, such that you walk this path straight, true, and narrow with self-control and meekness and discipline, and you do so in a motivated, joyous, healing, loving, energetic way? Surrender. Surrender to the Most High. Surrender to something larger than yourself, larger than life, larger than the universe. Surrender to Yahuwah, Yahusha, and He will wash over you with the breath of the living Elohim, the Most High. All glory, all praise, all honor, all love to Yahuwah.